Hi, welcome back. I am Flutter by Nessus, or welcome for the first time if you're just joining me for your first time. I have not been filming for the past month about. February is crazy for us, so I didn't get around to it. My apologies, but I am back and I have several videos that I want to kind of knock out tonight, so you're going to be seeing my face for a while. But don't worry, it'll be broken up into different sections, okay? I'm not going to overwhelm you all at once. Let's get into it. Today I want to talk about just my recent favorites. I'm not going to call them January favorites or February favorites. They're kind of both of those, but also a little bit more recent as well. So let's just hop into it. So one of the first favorites that I want to mention is one that I mentioned in a Bought It and Forgot It some time ago, and I finally got it back out, and I had to find it. I had put it back into a storage drawer, which makes no sense because it was hard to find, but I got it. It's the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Highlight, and the complaint that I had heard about this was that it's a little bit cumbersome to open, and it is a little bit. It's not like you have to take the lid all the way off, so it's not connected like a lot of the higher end ones, and you just have to pop that off. The little tab that they give you to pull on it just broke off of mine, but it is beautiful. This one I have been wearing recently, and it's just gorgeous. I do use the little pad here that they have, and I just grab it even from the lid and then just dab it on lightly. It really melts into the skin. Let me see, can you see that? It melts into the skin beautifully, and it is really, really bright. Clearly it's not right for all skin tones, but it does happen to work for mine, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad that I went and found it and finally put it on my face, and that's a favorite for recent times. The next thing that I will bring up is an Hourglass Sparkler, no, Scattered Light. And this was a gift from my older sister for Christmas. We draw names, or we're on a schedule, a rotating schedule. There are 4 kids, and so we rotate every year who has who so that it's not overwhelming at Christmas time. And she got me, she knows I love makeup. Hi, Jess. And this one is the color, or I guess the color is Scattered Light. My bad. It's a glitter eyeshadow reflect. Is the color reflect? I don't know. It's either Scattered Light or it's reflect. Either way, it's beautiful. I love to use it to top off other things. Let me just give you a swatch there underneath where the highlight is, and you can see that, I hope. It's just beautiful. It has a color that is a little bit warm, but it also blends into the skin really nicely, and it goes on top of other colors beautifully. I used it to top a new palette that I recently got, Great Gatsby from LA Girl. Spoiler alert, got that one, and it was gorgeous. I am really happy with it, and I love using it on its own and with other things as well. An oldie but a goodie that I have recently gotten out. If you watched my project pan last year, then you know that I used a cream shadow from Ulta Beauty, and I got a good amount of use out of it. I'm still using it quite often, but it turned me on to other cream blushes that I already have. And this one is from Too Faced. It's old. You guys, I got this at Nordstrom Rack a few years ago, and I think this was already discontinued from the Too Faced line at that point. So it's old, but it doesn't smell funny. It still smells good. This is the color. It's called Prim and Poppy. Oh! Apparently it pops right out too. Yeah, it just snaps right in there. Well, that's good to know. Well, it's right there. Here. I'll swatch it on my hand because that's apparently what I'm doing now. It's beautiful. It blends out like a dream. Yeah, it still smells great. It doesn't have any kind of a funky odor or anything. Ooh, yeah, snaps right back in. There you go. You live and learn. But here it is on my hand, and sheared out, it's just beautiful. And it's lovely to top it off with something else, but on its own, it's really nice and subtle and gives a beautiful flush to the cheeks. Just kind of melts right in. Ugh, got a hair in my eye. I think I got it. Speaking of Nordstrom Rack, actually, Nordstrom, I think I did actually get this at Nordstrom Rack, but a website connected to Nordstrom Rack is Haute Look, like haute couture, Haute, Haute Look, and they have a beauty portion of their site, and oftentimes they cycle through. It's like a pop-up sale, and the sale is there for a week or something, and lots of high-end brands have their makeup on there. You can go through, and depending on when you get there, you can find Urban Decay or Laura Mercier, I believe. Anyway, a whole bunch of different ones. And one of them that is there is also the Lorac brand. And this is the Unzipped Mountain Sunset. I also got the Ocean Sunset, but this one is my favorite. When these first came out, I love Lorac. Lorac is one of the first high-end brands that I bought. I just like the look of it. I like how clean it is. I like how easy it is to understand the layout and everything. And I just have an affinity for Lorac products. And so when I saw this, I think it's really cool. The lid opens kind of in sections like that. And I was drawn to the mountain palette because I grew up next to the mountains. I grew up next to the Rocky Mountains. And so a mountain sunset really appealed to me. Plus, I love cool tones more than I will. My eye immediately goes to cool tones. I love cool tones. I love how warm tones bring out my eyes, but cool tones just, they make me feel peaceful and calm and energized, and I love cool tones. So this one really spoke to me. And this blue with just a touch of this purple is beautiful. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen the look that I found and just keep doing with these two colors. And you don't even need a transition color. I have used Cliffside a little bit. I haven't even touched Mahogany Earth no, I think I've touched everything else. But Mahogany and Earth I haven't ventured into yet. They're a little bit more purple. But this blue I think is my favorite blue of all time. Let me swatch that for you. I'll do the blue and the purple next to each other. Let's see if I can make room for them. They just are so lovely. Can you see that? The purple's right there, and then there's the blue. And together, I just put a little bit of the purple with the blue, and so it doesn't conflict with my eye color, because a lot of times wearing cool tones and blue colors competes with my green eyes and can be overwhelming to the color. It kind of clashes. But with the purple in there, it's so pretty, and I just love it, and that's been a favorite recently as well. Give me just a sec. I always forget to keep the wipes near enough to be able to use them. Moving on. I want to say, I've been trying different primers, and like the Ulta Matte Primer I used, but I don't really think that one works as well as my tried and true. I went back to my Lorac. Oh gosh, it's rubbed off. But the original little gray Lorac primer right now is my favorite, and I have another one already because they come sometimes with the palette that you buy, and I think I got a new one with the unzipped palettes, the sunset palettes that I got from Haute Look. So that's a recent favorite. I'm going to kind of blow through these other ones because I have a few things. So I bought the Jaclyn Hill palette with the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette when it first came out. I bought the original one the first time she did it, and I'm learning more and more every year, and so I am not as overwhelmed. But this palette, I hadn't got around to it. When it has so many colors, it can be overwhelming. But I've decided to really just dip into it and try it, and I'm really enjoying it. I love the range of looks that you can do. And, you know, if you cover up this one, they're all neutral. All of those are neutral. You can deepen it up with these ones down here. But if you're not using one of these 5, then you're making a neutral look, which is fine because most days neutral is safe and it's appropriate, and it doesn't take a lot of time. And that's kind of the issue. Right now I've got 4 kids, and I've started working a little bit here and there, and my kids are between 13 and 3 years old. There's a lot going on. So I don't always have a lot of time to be able to do my makeup. And I love that this is cohesive, and the colors are different enough from each other that I don't have to wonder which one is darker or if it's going to go with the other one, which one is cool toned or warm toned. They're all very obvious to me. And so I can put a look together really easily, and I've really enjoyed the looks that I've been able to make, and they stay on my eyes for a good long time. It's not creasing or doing anything like that, no matter which primer I'm using. So I've been loving that. I have also gotten out my Revlon Age Defying DNA Advantage Cream Makeup Foundation. This one is Bare Buff. I actually use this one to mix into some of my other foundations that are just a titch too dark for me right now because we're in the winter. And again, this is old. I don't know even if Revlon makes this specific one anymore, but since I had it and I want to get some use out of it, yeah, I probably only got it down to about here. I want to use it, and so it's one of the few drugstore foundations that I've found lays nicely on my skin. I am turning 39 this year, and so I have wrinkles and pores and smile lines and all the issues and acne at times. And this I found that the Wet n Wild doesn't do it for my skin. I did a review on that recently. I can link that down below. I have tried, I think it was a Maybelline Fit Me one, and that didn't lay nicely. I have to try that one again though, so don't quote me on that. But of the ones that I've gone back and put on my face, this is one that lays just as nicely as my higher end foundations. So I've been loving that. Also, my go-to concealers. You know what? I wouldn't call that one a favorite. I'm going to take that one out. But I am loving the Urban Decay 24/7 pencil. I have mine in the color FBI, and this one works really well. When I go and work out and I don't want to look tired, or I just want to cover up a little bit of blemish, discoloration around my face, this is what I use. It's right here. It's very close to my skin color, so I don't know if you can see it. And it blends out really nicely. It might be a tiny bit darker than my skin tone right now, but it blends out really nicely. And I find it really easy to just put a tiny bit on. I feel confident. I'm not distracted when I see myself in the mirror when I'm working out in a class with everybody, and I can just focus on what I am doing to work out. The other concealer I'm enjoying right now is the NYX HD concealer, and this one is in CW04, and I actually use this to balance out some of the concealers that I have that are a little bit too light for me. If I just put this on there with them, I can get away with this one on its own as well, but it is a tiny bit dark. I don't know if you can see that right there. It is just a tiny bit deep, so it mixes in really nicely with lighter concealers, and I don't have to try so hard to match. And I don't have to go buy a new concealer that is between those two shades, because I have too light and I have too dark, so I may as well put them together and make it work for me. Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. I have a lot of eyebrow hair. I do not struggle with fullness in my brows. I have plenty of that. I have to pluck still, even with the full brow trend. And so Fiber Volumizer works great for me. And this one I really like. The shape of the tip is a little strange. It's kind of like a spear head, and it only has bristles on one side and a little dip to hold product. Let me show you. Okay, see the bristles and the little dip to hold the product? So that works out really well because I can use it to draw a little bit as well as just brush in the product. And I feel like on me it looks very natural. That's what I have in my brows today, and I'm really happy with it. It's inexpensive and the color is great. It's not red, so this one's just blonde, and it works really well for me. I am also using the Needles No More Baggage Dr. Brandt. It just helps clear up puffiness and dark circles under your eyes. You just warm up a tiny bit. It's a little bit orange. I'll show you. It's a little bit orange. And you just warm it up between your fingers and then pat it underneath your eyes. Just a tiny bit orange, which I think counteracts the blue generally from bags under the eyes. And then as you warm it up between your fingers and put it underneath your eyes, it helps reduce the inflammation and the discoloration. And if I don't want to put any concealer on, or if I want to just depuff before I put concealer on, I found that I'm really enjoying that. Okay, a couple of things quickly still, and then we'll be done. Promise I am going to wrap it up. I have organized my lipsticks, and I'm trying to do another declutter and get rid of the lipsticks that I just don't use, because if you saw my lipstick declutter, I still ended up having a ridiculous amount that I could never possibly use. And so I have narrowed it down quite a bit. I didn't show that part, but I have 3 bags of color families that I want to go through and narrow it down even more. I may just not keep what's in the bags, but I need to swatch them, and I thought it would be nice to swatch them with you, and we can look at it and figure out how I'm going to justify either keeping it or being able to let it go. But this is one that I pulled out and found as I was going through and organizing, one that I don't have to wonder if I'm going to keep it. It's Tarte Rainforest of the Sea in Salt Life, L-Y-F-E, and it's just a purple leaning kind of mauve color that really speaks to me. This is the kind of color that I love. Something a little bit more cool toned, but still on the nude side, but a little more depth than what your lips would naturally have. So a little bit more on the cool side than what your lips would naturally be, a little bit more depth. And then I have a Revlon pencil, Photo Ready Kajal. This is my favorite color. I compare this with so many things. This is basically my favorite color, or a variation on it. And what color does it say it is? It's F265 304 Matte Marine. And it's lovely. It has a little smudger on the one end, and the color is just a really lovely kind of aqua light blue. And it goes in the waterline really well, and it shows up. I have some higher end pencils that just don't stay there, but that one, inexpensive as it is, I love it, and it stays there, and I really like the way that it adds to any kind of look that I'm trying to do. So moving on from makeup favorites, I have just a couple other favorites that I want to mention. I have my, what is this, Ball brand, just this little top and straw. See, it's, I don't know, not ceramic, but it's washable, and it keeps the flies and the dust and the crumbs out of my water, out of my beverage, whatever it may be. It keeps it nice for me. I'm not adding to the waste of the earth by using single-use straws, and it's nice and big so that I can get a good amount all at once. I'm not fighting for my drink. And yeah, I have 4 kids, so the protection on top is necessary, and I really appreciate it. I'm loving that. Also, I have recently started, hold on, I signed up, I've heard a lot about counting macros, and so I decided to finally just kind of jump into it, because I want to be conscientious about what I'm feeding myself and my family, and I don't have a lot of extra brain space to dedicate to that. So I signed up for the winter meal plan with Clean Simple Eats. No affiliation, no sponsorship, no nothing. I just really like how it's been going, and I got the menu, and it comes with, I bought the package that has some of the protein powders and things like that, and it lays out, I think it's 7 weeks of meals for you. It gives you a shopping list. It tells you a range of snacks that you can choose from. It's just so easy, and it lays everything out, and it, you know, figures out your macros for you. And so everything is proportionate, and I've been loving that. I've actually started to see muscle definition in my arms again, and in my body, which is really encouraging. And so I've been loving that. Now, when I'm taking a break from that, or when I need a moment to indulge, I love chips. I have always loved chips, but right now the chips that get me are Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. Again, no affiliation, of course. Lay's have no idea. Ruffles has no idea who I am. But I love these chips. These are so dangerous. And the more orange a chip is, the more delicious it is. Give me all the chips. Love my chips. Last thing, is my sweater. I want to call it a nostalgia sweater. It reminds me of one that I had when I was in high school. It reminds me of sweaters that I had when I was in high school, but it fits beautifully. It was really inexpensive. Did I get it at Zara's, I want to say? Anyway, I think it was less than $15, and it just makes me feel confident and nostalgic, and I love it. And those are my favorites. If you enjoy hearing about favorites and sharing what is getting you excited and making your day, or making my day, I guess, because I am not watching your video, you're watching mine. Thanks, by the way, for coming. If you like videos like this, please be sure to hit the like button, and if you would subscribe, it would make my day, and it would make my videos pop up automatically in your feed so you don't have to go looking for me in the future. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful evening or day or morning or whenever time you're watching this, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.